Hey, happy Tuesday night. It's about 9:45 Eastern where I am. I have been actually trying to go live multiple times today, and with what I read, with what happened in Nashville, the tornadoes overnight, which, my thoughts, prayers are out to everyone that's affected with that. That has played havoc on cell phone reception, even here in Chattanooga in East Tennessee. So I've had no cell phone reception, hardly at all. I've tried to go live multiple times and had nothing. Could not go live. So I apologize for the delayed Monday meeting, right? Really wanted to give an overview of what we're going to be covering this month. Hey, Cheryl. This month, going back, we know we've talked in January, we talked about goals. Hey, Daniel. And in February, we talked about nutrition. Now we want to talk about movement. That's how it was here too. A lot of lightning, but brief, right? We didn't have any high winds or anything like that. Nothing like what they experienced in Nashville. Really, gosh, I can't believe, anyway. But this month, we're going to be talking about movement. I'll get into that a little bit. And we've got a couple things that we're going to address this month, right? We're going to talk about what kind of movement we need to be doing. Do we need to be doing cardio training? Do we need to do resistance training? Maybe both, maybe just one. We'll talk about that. What we need to be doing when we're actually doing one of those. We're going to talk about how often we need to change what we're doing, right? We see all the time people are changing their workouts, doing different things from week to week. Do you really need to do that? We're going to talk about that this month. And then we're going to talk about, do you need to sit on one of those balls? Do you need to use one of those half balls, the Bosu balls? Do you need to do exercises like burpees? No. We're going to talk about that. Those are some of the things we're going to talk about this month. And then just like last month when we kind of designed that nutrition protocol, and if you haven't seen that, go back. You can see it on my YouTube page, or you can kind of scroll down the page here and see that. Hey, Emily. We're gonna do something very similar. Last week, we're going to design a workout plan for you, for I say average, I'm average, we're all average person, right? We're not NBA, NFL, MLB athletes. I had a fun conversation with someone just the other day about that. Those kind of athletes, they could sit on the couch and get stronger and faster, okay? They can do anything, and they're gonna get stronger and faster. The rest of us need to actually do something that's better for us, okay? And we're gonna talk about that this month. But tonight, I'm gonna make this brief because it's late. I'm tired. I know you're probably tired too, and sleep is very, very important. Excuse me. I just want to kind of give, hey Noah, give an overview of what movement is, okay? We get confused about this a lot. Hey Morgan, movement is anything, and how I define it, movement is anything that is deliberate, okay? So for example, parking a couple of extra spaces away from the door, walking up a flight of stairs. No. That's $1 billion idea, Daniel. Sit on the couch, lose weight. If anybody wants to partner with me on that, me and Daniel on that, $1 billion idea, okay? Heard it here first. But deliberate movement is what I'm talking about. So we're taking the extra flight of stairs, okay? We are walking inside of the mall right? A couple of extra laps. We're going outside, walking up and down the street, getting that vitamin D, making the effort to do something a little bit extra. And it doesn't necessarily have to be cardio, right? Maybe we are sitting in a chair, and instead of sitting here, I'm sitting here. I'm not necessarily moving. Obviously, my hands are, right? But I'm not necessarily moving as I'm sitting here, but I'm focusing right here, right? The stairs at work are perfect. Go up and down those stairs. They're awesome. Absolutely give yourself credit for that. Stairs are a fantastic way of getting exercise in. So that's what I'm talking about when I'm talking about movement. And then, like I said, it doesn't necessarily have to be that cardio. It can be resistance training. Like I'm sitting up here, I'm bracing myself, right? I'm deliberately working on that. Maybe while I'm sitting here, while you're sitting there watching me or whatever you're doing while you've got the phone in your hand, maybe you're doing some squats, right? Or maybe you're doing some push-ups while you're doing this, or a plank, or something where it's just deliberate. So that's what I'm talking about this whole month, is deliberate actions, deliberate movement. And here's another thing that I really want you to wrap your mind around, okay? Despite what the recommendations are for daily exercise, right? The average American adult needs to get a certain number of minutes a week. I don't have the numbers in front of me right now because it doesn't matter. What I need you to understand is do a little bit more than you did yesterday, okay? Just a little bit more, and that's plenty. We don't need to go from 0 to 100, okay? Because when we do that, after a week, you're done. You can't maintain that for a long period of time. Noah, technically, I will give you that if you're taking extra steps to avoid the stairs. Depends on how many. I'm gonna argue with Rayleigh on that. It depends on how many steps we're talking about. I've never heard that before. I like that. So we're working on a little bit extra, okay? So that's what we're talking about this whole month. And, you know, this is really good. I think this is some of the most views that I've had on one of these at one time. Maybe I need to move these a little bit later. So let me know if this works better for you all. I can make these shorter, but I can do them later if it's easier to watch. I know 6 o'clock is tough for a lot of folks. That's right in that dinner time. You got the kids, you got work, you're driving home, depending on where you live, it can get kind of hairy. So if you want me to change times to give you a little bit more value, let me know about that. And if you've got any questions about some of the stuff that I've already talked about, or maybe some stuff you want me to cover this month when it pertains to movement, let me know. We're all night owls. I know, I'll stay up on my computer writing out programs, and okay, we got 3, but I'll sit writing programs till like 10 or 11 o'clock at night, and it's just terrible because sleep is important. And we're going to be talking about sleep in a few months because sleep is so important for all of us, right? Okay, all right, then I'll start moving these later then. I'm going to try to kick it back to Monday, but I'll definitely do later because this is great. I'm seeing a lot of people on here, which makes me happy. Even though I feel like I'm talking to myself on these, but whatever, that's fine. But yeah, whole month, like I said, all about movement, what kind of movement you need to be doing. And we're going to talk about maybe the benefits, the pros and cons behind utilizing some kind of exercises. I kind of already alluded to things like burpees. I'm not a fan of risk reward, and on these I'm giving you general ideas, okay, and general recommendations. But we're going to talk about some stuff like that. We're going to talk about, like I said, do you need to sit on an exercise ball or a stability ball? Are you getting a lot of benefit from that? Maybe, maybe not. You have to stick around. I'm not going to tell you right now. Same thing goes with the Bosu ball, which is one of those half balls. Same thing goes with, using kettlebells or maybe using the Smith machine or not. Has that gotten a bad rap? Maybe it has, maybe it hasn't. Again, you got to stick around. But I'm going to be talking about all of that. And then again, at the end of the month, that last week of March, which is the 30th, that week we're going to talk about how to set up a program, just like we did for nutrition last month. I'm going to break it down, how to actually set up a program, how I set up a program for me. I'm going to show you how to do that. Yes, I will absolutely do that. I do have, I was playing around with video editing on my phone. I put together a short stretch routine, and I'll do another one on my YouTube page. It's a couple of minutes, shows some stretches to do, but I will do another one of those also. Yes, go to my YouTube page and check that out. But yes, I've got some other ones. There's a wonderful stretch that I really like called the couch stretch, and I will make a video of myself. You can also YouTube that if you want to, but I will I'll make a video of myself doing that. Let's see. Ankle weights. So I think that I'm not going to say no, like I'm not opposed to it. I don't necessarily think it's a bad thing. I would be real careful with kind of monitoring how your knees feel and how your hips feel while you're doing that. I don't think it's necessarily a bad idea. I would not run with them. I would not run with ankle weights on. And the main reason for that, and this is kind of getting outside of the scope of this talk, but when you run, you got to be real careful with your mechanics of running. So putting ankle weights on can really mess with your mechanics. But if you're walking, I don't have a huge problem with that. Just pay attention again to how your knees feel and how your hips feel. Hips feel especially. Kids brought a ball in here. I thought I was hearing things. No, goodness gracious. Weight vests and holding kids are some of the best weight exercises that you can use. So if anybody has any more questions, type them in. I'm going to leave it at that for tonight. I am so pumped that so many of you logged in and even watched this for a couple of seconds. I'm grateful for that. And that just tells me I need to start doing these a little bit later. So I will do that. And if I didn't get to your question, or if you have a question after I'm done, I will come back and readdress it maybe next week. Awesome. You all have a wonderful night. Thank you for joining, and I'll see you next week.